Okay, this is a quick tutorial on how to put the back wheel back on a Ride1UP Roadster V2. You want to pay attention that this axle is sitting with the flat part level with the dropout. If it's not level with it, it's not going to go in. Once you get it in there, you'll notice that your tension bolt will automatically align itself and pop out the back there. That's very important if that happens. You need to have the tension bolt and the washer on the inside of the frame when you're applying it in there. Just like so. Next up, we're going to put the belt drive back on. We're going to grab our torque washers and we're going to put those in as well. Pay attention that the flanges on them lock into the cutouts on the frame. Might need to do a little finagling and line those up properly. Then you're going to put I think this is the belt roller. Basically it just keeps contact with the belt and probably keeps it straight on the rear cog. After that, you're going to go ahead and put your tension blocks back in. You're going to screw those into the bolts that were already in the frame when we first put the wheel on. Just screw them in so they're snug. You can adjust this later according to your belt tension. And then once you go ahead and get those nice and snug, the next step is going to be to make sure that there is no wobble in your wheel, and also make sure that there's even spacing on both sides before you crank those axle bolts down. I'm doing this with a 19mm socket on the non-drive side, and on the drive side where the motor is, I'm using a crescent wrench, also sized to 19mm, but you can't get a socket in there because of the motor wire, so you just kind of have to make do with two different tools. Here I'm checking to make sure that my belt tension is good and there's no grinding noises. I did have an issue with that in the past when we first got the bike, so I want to make sure we're not repeating that. And as I'm tightening it down, I'm still checking, making sure that it's smooth and there's no additional noises or anything like that. Once I'm satisfied with that, I'll go ahead and start torquing down both sides again, get them nice and snug. Again, checking to make sure there's no grinding or binding on that belt. Here I'm adjusting my tension now via the tension blocks, just giving them a couple turns. And again, checking to make sure that the tension's good on the belt, no grinding noises, etc. And also that there's no shift in that wheel, that it's not rubbing against one side of the frame or that it's crooked. Once I'm satisfied with that, go ahead and plug in your motor cable, being careful not to bend any of the pins. Clip it in so you hear it pop. Then you're going to go ahead and grab a skinny zip tie. There was a bunch that were included in the Ride1UP box that came with the bike. And you're going to cinch that down with the zip tie. Once that's on, that's about it. You're going to go ahead and clip that excess off with the zip tie, and you should be back on the road. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.